Christmas, that means it's time to remind you of Bob Wine's great deal on trees. Take your pick from any tree in their huge stock, and then you get another tree just like it for half price. And that deal applies to all trees up to Bob Wine's famous jumbo trees. Simply said, you always buy one and get one at half price. Be sure to check the Super Doorbusters on great-looking Laura Pedalum. Not $8.99, but just $3.99. That truckload sale on roses continues. Knockouts just $24.99. Huge double red knockout roses only $69.99. And you'll find more azaleas than you've ever seen in one place, starting with the ever-blooming red ruffles, still just $3.99. Check all this week's deals at BobWinesCameliaGardens.net. That's Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3:30, serving you in the same place for nearly 70 years.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Hour number 3. As always, on Thursdays after Veterans News, we go out and join Lori at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Good morning, Lori. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
Good. I want to talk about something before we get into the sales and all going on that I know is a little tough right now because of it just happened, but a pillar of our community who cared for our community and cared for the Ocala-Marion County area as much as anybody else that lives here, and was probably the best-known gardener for camellias and all in and around this Central Florida area. Bob Wines passed away recently. It just, the loss to our community of such a good person, it really, really is one of those moments where you say we've lost another oak tree in our community.
Yeah, that is so true, Tom. I appreciate you saying that. You know, and he really was. He wasn't out here a whole lot over the last year or so, but when he came in, it was just, we appreciated him. He was amazing, and he did. He loved the nursery business, but he loved the community. He loved people. He loved helping people. That was, his heart was for helping people, whether it be, giving them a job and helping them out if they were having a hard time, or just being there for them. He just had a big heart and everything that he did. We appreciate him. We miss him. It's a big, big hole that we can't fill.
And by the way, forgot more about camellias than you'll ever know, and you're really good at camellias.
Let me tell you what. Yeah, that's exactly right. He was my camellia guy.
I mean,
so, yeah.
I got to speak to him once about 3 years ago, and just the passion for the community he lived in and the passion and the desire to help his fellow man was the one thing I took away from that conversation. Was this is a guy who, yes, he's thankful for the opportunity he was given 50 some odd years ago, or maybe more than that now, to open his nursery and everything. But he really put his heart and soul into the nursery and his heart and soul into the community and the people that are a part of this community. That's the one thing I took away from it. I had about a 15, 20-minute conversation with him, and that's what I took away from that conversation.
And that's what he would want you to take away from it, because that's exactly who he was. That's what he was, He loved the nursery business, but he was all about the people, He was all about helping people and doing for people, and just, we went downtown and fed the homeless with George, that works for us, and that was just, it was in his heart to do that, and it was out of the kindness and goodness of his heart that we did all that.
Yeah, he didn't have,
and none of it was for recognition. He did not need anybody to know what he was doing. He was just as content being behind the scenes, and nobody really seeing him do it either.
I that's what struck me when I was reading the article that told the story of Bob Wines and all that the Ocala Star-Banner did 3 days ago. I thought the last person that would want this article to be in the newspaper is Bob Wines. He would not want this. He would not want this article telling everybody how great he was as a community leader and everything. He would not want that at all.
he would not want it, but it was such a great thing for them to do for him. You know, it was wonderful for them to put it together for him.
It really was. It really was a touching article. If you hadn't read it, go back and look for it. It explains to you exactly who Bob Wines was. He was a gardener and a nursery owner first, but he was so much more to that and meant so much more to that to our community. We've really lost one of the oak trees of our community. But in keeping up with what he loved, it is the nursery business, and as they say, the show goes on, and you got a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, we do, and the nursery's not going anywhere. We're staying right here, you know. So, and we have some great specials going on right now, just like we do every week. We've got our citrus trees, our fruit trees. We just got in a lot of different citrus trees, a lot of different fruit trees, vegetables, herbs. I got new vegetables in yesterday, and a lot of really different varieties of herbs in right now, too.
You know, it's that time where you can start putting cucumbers in the ground, and you can put herbs in the ground, and you know, cauliflower and stuff in the ground. But you can also start with your floral arrangements. Like, it's a good time to, if you want to get, you want to spruce up your rose bush area and everything, you can come to Bob Wines, and y'all got roses and all right now on special.
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of roses right now. We've got knockout roses. We've got drift roses, which are the easy to care for roses. We've also got rose trees in a variety of different colors. And I just got new roses in yesterday. So I don't have the hybrid teas yet. I'm working on those to get those in the more old-fashioned ones. But the easy care roses, we've got a very good collection of them right now.
But as always, you got plenty of camellias, too, because it is Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. And camellias are one of those flowers that you can get different varieties of them all year round.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and camellias you can plant any time of the year. You know, we sell most of them in the winter months and the spring because they're blooming and you can see what you're getting. But any time of the year you can put a camellia in the ground and they'll do really well. And they're pretty easy to take care of as long as you have the instructions on how to plant them, which we make sure when you come in and you buy something that we give you those instructions. You walk out the door with a little piece of paper that gives you those instructions on it to kind of help you, make your way through on how to plant them and take care of them afterwards.
If I have a chain link fence, because chain link fences, they serve a purpose, but they're not really nice to look at. So if I have a chain link fence, but I want to vine something around that chain link fence to change how it looks, maybe give me a little more privacy, do y'all have different types of crawling plants and everything that you could advise me on to maybe put on that chain link to take over?
Yeah, we do. And a lot of people will put Confederate jasmine on them because the Confederate jasmine puts that white bloom on it, has a real sweet smell to it. A lot of times we'll recommend doing two different things, to put Confederate jasmine and Carolina jasmine. Carolina jasmine has a yellow bloom, and it blooms early, so it blooms first. And then about the time it's done blooming, then the Confederate jasmine starts blooming. So it just gives you a longer period of blooming time, and it's going to be there all year long. Some vines will die down in the wintertime. That's a vine that's going to stay there all year for you.
And it creates, I have a 4-foot, but still, somebody with a 6-foot chain link fence, you put that jasmine on there, and it clumps together real tight and everything. That's just as good as a $3,000-$4,000 privacy fence.
Yeah, it truly is. That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, and it will. I mean, it'll completely block it. You can't see through it at all. And the nice thing about it, you can't see through it. It helps with the noise also.
It does. Tell people where you're located and how they can get in touch with you.
We're at 2610 Southeast 38th Street. Our phone number is 352-629-5766, and we're here Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3:30.
Lori from Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Go out and see him. Go out and take a walk in the 5+ acres. I guarantee you your walk will end up at a cash register as you're buying something to take home with you to put in the dirt. Lori, thanks so much for talking to us. All of our thoughts and prayers are with you and the family of Mr. Wines and everything, and the staff there that knew him so well. And continue on in his honor.
That's right. It's his legacy. We got to keep it going. That's our plan.
Thanks, Lori. Talk to you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Bob Wine's Camellia Garden. If you've never been out there, you're doing yourself a disservice by not going and seeing just how great that place is. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 113th birthday of the Army Reserves. We'll do that next. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Sun and Fun's Aerospace Expo is back and better than ever from April 13th through the 18th. It's not just an air show, it's everything aviation in 2021. And you don't want to miss it. Join fellow aviation enthusiasts as we watch